This is Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker, and welcome to the How to Play video to Vomitland, a push-your-luck board game from Cyber Rhino Studios.
You're watching a video rulebook, your guide to the rules of the game. This video is divided into chapters. Scroll across that scrubber bar so you can jump right on the section you want to hear more about. You can also find that list of chapters below. And if you like how we discuss games, please share your comments, give this video a like, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps us grow our channel so we can continue making content for you. Thank you so much for your support.
Let's set up a game for 3 or 4 players. You can find the rules for a 5 and 6 player game in the rulebook. First, place the game board in the middle of the playing area. Next, sort and shuffle the rollercoaster cards and the store cards. Place those decks on their respective places on the board. Place the vomit tokens next to the board, and place the die token next to the bathroom space. Now place the janitor marker on space A on the board. Next, randomly choose 4 objectives. There should be 2 maneuver objectives and 2 emotion objectives. Return the others to the box. Each player will take a help card and choose a color. Each player gets a marker, a stay or leave token, cubes, and nausea tracker disc of their color. Next, the nausea level of the tracker starts at 0. Then each player takes one of their cubes and places it on 0 of the scoring track. Finally, the player who goes first is the player who most recently went or vomited on a roller coaster. Or you can randomly determine the first player. The players will place their markers in initiative order on the park entrance. That takes care of setup. Let's get ready to ride. Test your luck riding the roller coaster without throwing up. Collect emotions and maneuvers to earn points and meet objectives. The player with the most victory points at the end of the game is the winner. There are 3 stages in each round. Where to go, players placing their markers to gain an activity, complete the activity of the location, and lastly, return to line where a new round begins. The game's end triggers when either all objectives are met at least once, or the roller coaster cards have run out. Starting with the player whose meeple is closest to the front of the park entrance, they place their meeple on either the roller coaster, store, or bathroom on an available space. Once all players have placed their meeples on a space, it's time to activate each location. Starting with the roller coaster, cards will be drawn to show the exciting, dizzying thrills it will go through. At the start, 2 cards will be placed down in the row from left to right. Then 1 card thereafter will be drawn. After resolving each card, any player may leave the coaster. All players use their stay or leave token and pick a side secretly, then reveal it at the same time. Any player leaving places their meeple on the last roller coaster card drawn. If there are more than 2 people leaving the coaster, place the meeple whose player is closest in front of the location to the right, followed by the next player behind to the left. If there are still players left on the roller coaster, then another card is drawn. However, if an extreme card is drawn, the player can leave after the second card is played down. Extreme cards can be denoted by this symbol. As cards get drawn, players must watch out for vomit splatters on the cards. 1 and even 2 of these can appear on a card. Each time these appear, your nausea level goes up by each splatter. If a player reaches level 5, they throw up and immediately leave the roller coaster and into the vomitorium. Players arriving at the vomitorium will reduce their vomit level to 2, but must take a vomit token. Each token will give a penalty of 1 point. If there is 1 player on the roller coaster, they have a choice to either exit the roller coaster now or go into pushing the limits. The player looks at their nausea level and draws cards for each remaining level. So if a player is at level 3, then they would have to draw 2. After resolving each card and the player has survived it through, the player must exit the roller coaster. Once all players have exited the coaster, players on the roller coaster's track takes a card for their collection. Players can only pick cards from where they exited from. Starting with the player at the furthest end, that being the rightmost of the roller coaster track, gets to select a card. Then the player left from that player collects a card, and so on. And then the player at the furthest end selects a second card if they have done the pushing to the limit action. If there aren't enough cards for a player to select, they reduce their nausea level by 2. Once all players are done, discard the remaining cards on the track. Collecting cards and completing objectives are the main way to get victory points. Cards contain emotional icons, maneuvers, and sometimes points. If you're able to collect enough emotions or maneuver cards in your collection to meet an objective, then you score it. If you're the first person to score on the objective, you score 4 points. Other players will score 2 points. Be sure to check if any player has scored any objectives after collecting cards. When a player is at the store, they get 2 options. Draw 2 cards from the store deck, choose one to keep, and discard the other. Or the player lowers their nausea level by 1. Store cards are kept hidden until the proper timing to use them. For the player in the bathroom, they roll the die. The number results shown will lower the nausea level by that number. There's a chance for this symbol in which the player may discard a vomit token. Once all locations have been activated, it's time to get ready for the next round. Starting with the player in the bathroom space, they move to the front of the park entrance. Then the player at the store, followed by any players in the vomitorium, starting with the player who threw up last. Then with any player on the roller coaster, starting with the player closest to the back end. So the player who stayed on the roller coaster the longest would go last. Next, move the janitor to the next space in order of letters. The janitor returns to A after the last letter. The janitor may occupy the space, and therefore the players may not select that space in that round. After the janitor moves, a new round begins. The game will end once either one of the following conditions are met. All objectives are met at least once, or when the roller coaster cards run out. The game continues on once the current round has been completed. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe if you found this content helpful. It would really help us grow the channel. Now that the game has ended, it's time to score for each objective card. The player who scored first gets 4 points, and 2 points for all other players completing it. Each player collects 1 victory point for each maneuver card on their biggest set. Then each player checks to make the set of 3 different emotions. Each set is worth 2 victory points. Then any extreme or store cards give points as listed. Finally, each vomit token takes away 1 point, and each 3 nausea-causing cards will take away 1 victory point. The player with the most points wins. If there's a tie, the player with the least vomit token wins. If there's still a tie, then the player with the most maneuver cards in their collection. And if there's a tie after that, those players shared the victory. This concludes the how to play video to Vomitland. For more information about this game, please visit cyberrhinostudios.com. The Cardboard Stacker likes to thank the game creator for sponsoring this video.
For more videos like these, including tutorials and playthroughs, visit the channel and our website, thecardboardstacker.com. Thanks again, and as always, keep on stacking games.